but they still have the mentality of like, oh, you gotta do this to be successful, because that's
Well,
just
that
how they grew up.
okay. So we already started recording. We already started talking. But this is. What did I just say? The last one was 18. This is 19.
Yeah.
Episode 19 of Choose Love Podcast. If your first time here, welcome, Jonathan, Tainara, my wife,
Tainara.
Tainara, of 13 years next month.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, you gotta start keeping track.
I don't. For what? You keep track, so.
Okay. Um.
3
So
years since the 10-year, huh?
yeah, pregnant with Naomi at that time. All right. So today, boo,
Oops.
like we didn't just shoot another episode. Um.
You don't have to tell.
Too late.
Oops, sorry, Bo.
We just talked about not following your heart and following purpose, and that's where I kind of want to lead this one into, is following your purpose. James 2:26 says this. 2:26. Where is it? Okay. For just as the body without the spirit is dead, so also faith without works is dead. Proverbs 10:4 says this. Lazy people are soon poor, hard workers get rich. And then Ecclesiastes 11:6. Plant your seed early in the morning and keep busy all afternoon, for you don't know if a profit will come from one activity or another, or maybe both. And this ties into what you were just mentioning before, where we talked about in episode 18, not following your heart, but following the purpose that God has put in your heart. How do you find purpose? By finding the passions that you have and seeing what God has instilled in you, and pursuing those passions and being able to extrapolate. Is that a word? Extrapolate the purpose that God has for you. But you do not get to understanding what your purpose is by just staying dormant.
Mm.
So where it says that just for and James 2:26, just as the body is, without the spirit is dead, so is faith without works is dead. You have to have enough faith, but you can't just rely on merely faith. You have to do the work to be able to see the fruit of what it is God is doing in your life. Meaning, okay, for me to say, God, I believe that you have a purpose for me and I'm going to live out that purpose. That is beautiful. But you have to do the work in your body with the giftings that you have, with the ability that you have currently, to find what it is God wants to do with that purpose. Because you cannot just merely sit and be on a couch potato and expect God to just, can he do it? Yeah, but we have to move. We have to act. We have to have works alongside faith to see God do the work in us.
What would you advise someone to not, like, what would be the way one to find that what they're good at or their passion, not so much their passion, but like what they're good at, and from then on, what would be the next steps? What would you advise?
Start with, do a little like actual reflection. Sit down, get a pen and paper, do it the old school way, and get a computer, and jot down the things that you think might bring you joy
Or even your phone, right, on the notes.
on the notes. However the heck you want to do it, just do it. But literally sit down and think. Yeah, have no distractions, and think about what it is you're think about what you're good at. Think about what brings you joy.
That's a good point right there. Just want to highlight that. Have no distractions, because today I feel like it's very easy to get distracted, and that's the point. because they don't want you to find your passion. They want you to just be like zombies, right?
Yeah.
But
You know who's really good at?
it's really hard nowadays to not be distracted. I'll say this for me, it's very hard. Like, I have a lot going on, but it's very hard not to be distracted and not do what I have to do.
Yeah, I mean, it takes practice to become intentional with not being distracted.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to cut you
You
off, but
distracted me with my.
I did.
But you know who's really good at distracting besides you? Just kidding.
I guess I
The
am.
kids.
I guess I am.
Um, no, when it comes to like you actually trying to figure out what the heck your life's purpose is,
Mm.
the devil. Because he knows that if you're intentional about going
Oh.
about trying to live a purpose that God has instilled in you, because that purpose is gonna then glorify God, he's gonna do everything in his path to have you trying to take some time out of your day, out of your week, out of your month to be able to say, all right, I'm gonna take this next hour to figure out what I'm passionate about, what I feel like my purpose is. Let me just write a bunch of things down, and all of a sudden, boom, someone calls. Boom, you
Mm.
get a text message. You go on social media and you start scrolling, and then something else comes up.
But I don't know if it was you that was listening to this. I overheard this. A pastor saying sometimes it's not an issue because we want to blame the devil for a lot of things. And sometimes it's not an issue of the devil, but a character
Yeah,
issue where we need to, okay, this is not okay. Like, I have to check that text, I
yeah,
have to answer. I'm not giving myself respect, right?
yeah,
Because I'm not putting myself I'm not giving myself the time to reflect even on my own thoughts where I can connect to God.
yeah. You're right. I
It
do remember. That was yesterday. I was listening to
and
to the
so
pastor
and that
say,
I agree, like it's very easy to be like, oh, the devil is distracted,
"Yeah,
the devil this.
you're
No,
distracted.
you
You're not
need to
disciplined enough to
you're
be."
not you're not listening to the voice of God telling you that you shouldn't be on your phone 24/7.
Yeah,
You need to put your phone down. You need to delete those apps that are distracting you.
you need to take a fast.
Yeah. And so a fast, that's a great way to detox of your
It's the word. It's the
addiction.
word of the
Addiction.
last 3 months in this house. Detox. If I hear detox one more time,
Detox. But it's a great way to like really clear your mind, right? If you can't literally clear your mind, if you cannot sit down for a second, you need to.
yeah,
You need to force yourself,
yeah,
even if it's a day.
yeah.
A day. Start with that.
But you are so right when it comes to like easily putting the blame on the devil, and the
Yeah, and
devil's
then
gonna
it's
take he's
like
gonna take credit for it. He's over here like,
And then
I
it's like
didn't
an
I didn't do anything.
excuse, right? You'll be like, I can't do it because the devil. That's how I feel.
Ah, that devil. He knew that
You
person when they
just
texted me.
no, but it's a real thing. But you also have to be mindful that you can change your habits,
Oh yeah.
but it takes a lot of work. I mean, I'm speaking to myself here. There's things I struggle with that have become a habit that are it's been really hard to break. So,
But going back to your question that you
yeah.
asked, so it's start with that. An intentionality of making time to be able to figure out. Just give yourself some time to reflect and see what God has put on. Like look back at what you felt like there was moments of that brought you joy, a job that brought you joy, a feeling of uh, fulfillment that came from doing something for somebody. Because the number one thing that I think that I say about purpose is that it's not self-centered. It will not serve you first.
Mm,
Purpose
yeah.
serves other people first. By the service to others, you are fulfilled. And
Mhm.
however your purpose is painted out,
Yeah.
whatever it is that it may be,
And this is hard to envision, I think, in some areas, but it literally fits into everything, every talent that you have.
every
Because think
single
about,
talent.
okay, I'm gonna look at what I like to do, right? I enjoy art. I enjoy pretty things. But when I was given the opportunity to like do redo my parents' living room, right?
Hmm.
When they allowed me to do that.
Hmm.
it brought me so much joy for them to be so happy about like how it turned out. And that again, that's serving others through your
Yeah.
gifts. So it's like you can, there isn't any gift out there that you can't serve people, whether it's cleaning someone's house. It's there's so many things that you can do that serve people, whether it's mentoring somebody with a business that they're starting, or mentoring someone to find the purpose,
Yeah.
to help them figure out, mentoring someone to figure out what they want to do, whatever it is. Like you can, anything.
Anything. If you're good at art, if you're good at communication, if you're good at cleaning,
Mm-hmm.
if you're good at cooking, whatever it is your talents are, your purpose, everyone collectively. If everyone imagine a world that everyone was walking in their purpose. How united everything. We would lack nothing because everyone's gifting would serve somebody else's lack.
Mm,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
So if we were all like, I'm not really good at cooking. I don't like to cook. But you're gifted at cooking. You're really good at it.
Thanks.
What? You don't think you are?
I'm okay.
I'm
But
okay.
thank you.
I eat it.
Because you have
Maybe my taste buds have gone away. No, I'm just kidding. But everybody has a purpose that if united, man, and where people serve in church. That's why a church naturally should lack nothing because somebody fills the hole where it is that thing is needed. And so okay, so you get to the point where okay, I have these couple of things that I'm passionate about. I think that I want to I find fulfillment in. I'm serving other people. Ecclesiastes 11. Plant your seed early in the morning. Keep busy all afternoon, for you don't know if a profit will come from one activity or another, or maybe both. Now it's time to take that list, dive into different areas, stay busy, stay active. It's that side business that you want to start. It's the serving of a nonprofit. If it's a YouTube channel, if it's a podcast, if it's helping out your local church, whatever it may be, do them all. God is saying, do them, and then keep busy. Don't
mm.
just put all your eggs in one basket essentially and think and just wait. Plant, plant over here, go about your day. Continue to work because you don't know what God is doing because he can take the one area that you started and let that blossom. He'll water that. He can take that other area and blossom that, or he can take both, merge them together somehow, make them work together, all of them, to be able to collectively add this ingredient to be able to have all of those things be the blessing for you.
I think the other thing is in the staying busy is educating yourself.
Continuing to grow.
Um, Continue to grow in that talent, because that will help you to
Yeah.
fulfill whatever God is will bring to you.
I mean, this is a, I feel like a good testament to exactly this verse because I don't know where exactly this next business is taking me.
Mm.
I don't know exactly. I have an idea of what I have a strong idea of what my purpose is. I have a strong I have strong understanding of my passions, of my strengths, of my weaknesses. But I'm staying busy doing this YouTube channel, doing the podcast, continuing to go out there and practicing speech and going out there and networking and starting other groups while also continuing to work. So I'm planting in all areas and not just waiting. I'm continuing to try to improve myself, to try to get better in hope that one of those areas that I'm trying to plant, God says, yeah, this is the one. And I'm going to continue to water this and watch this grow. Because
Mm.
I don't know. We don't know if the area that God wants us to move towards is one of the things that we're trying to plant. And just by us investing the time and stewarding our time well and not just wasting away, we try to grow. We try to become better. We try to be in stronger relationship and communication and live a life that's led by God. We don't know if the journey that we're in right now is going to take us to a place of finally we get to the place where God's like, your character is ready. This is what I have for you in this season.
Hmm.
Because you've planted, because you've cultivated the soil well. Here we go. Now you're ready. However
Yeah.
that may manifest itself.
Mm.
You want to talk about manifestation? Manifestation comes through works too. Don't you can't just necessarily think it and all of a sudden it's gonna happen. That's another thing that the world says is manifestation, manifestation. I do believe in the power of thinking positive thoughts,
Well, and also
but it's also the
putting it out in the world. Where I think they talk about manifestations, like putting it out in the world, but you can't just be like, "Oh, this is gonna happen," and
right.
not do
And
anything.
and that's the James 2:26. The faith without works is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Let's let
Yeah,
the world says
exactly.
just you cannot just manifest and expect things to just pop up in your. You're not just gonna you okay. You want to manifest the Lamborghini? Go on, do that for a month straight and expect a knock on the door and someone says, "Hey, did you ask for this Lamborghini?" No, like you have to. You still have to actually do the. This might actually look like a Lamborghini key.
Oh, really?
Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a Lamborghini.
What do you know
um,
about cars?
you know what would be annoying if a Lamborghini does have a key still? Like
Yeah,
I
because
don't
I
like
mean,
if
Teslas
yeah
don't have keys, so
like just use your phone. Like I don't want to keep it. But anyway, yeah, the faith without works, the planting in the morning. What was the other verse I said?
lazy asses.
Lazy people are soon poor, hard workers get rich. And it's not that riches come in the sense of money,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
richness and fulfillment, richness and joy, richness in you're living finally the purpose that you feel like you finally reach a place of, man, I feel like I'm being used for the purpose that I was put on this earth. That is way more fulfilling than someone who's making 7 figures a year, $1 million plus, to have a job that they hate.
Right.
I'd rather have the fulfillment.
Mm-hmm. And not that you can't have both,
Not
right?
that you can't have both, but
Right.
when your heart's in the right posture and it's in the right place, God will use a servant who is gonna not put money above him
Mm-hmm.
to be able to have him be a good steward of that money versus the person who is just wanting to do something for the money and still having hate in his heart.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do, but it's something that we need to get back.
But it's scary, right? Because sometimes you don't see it. You're like, how is this gonna happen? How am I gonna make, because you still think about like, well, I still want this nice thing, and like, and I think God is a God that cares about those details for us too. But we have to first of all learn to trust him, which is really hard, really hard.
And it's not to say that you follow your purpose in life and all of a sudden you're just gonna get to this yellow brick road that's just skipping down this beautiful little forest. No, like you're still gonna go through trial. You're still gonna go through valleys. You're still gonna go through heartache, hurt, disappointment. Why? Because in that journey is this place where God builds your character to be able to finally get to the place, the destination that we're so desperately wanting to reach, to then be fulfilled.
Yeah, and character development never stops.
No,
That's something we work on every day. So don't think that like you've reached your destination
you ain't never
and
gonna
your
reach it.
character is all set. Like you got to work on that ego every single day.
And so many of us, myself included, want to just get to the destination and expect us to be ready for whatever it is we're supposed to do.
Mm.
How are you supposed to? How are you supposed? It's like, okay, I want to be CEO of Apple. Okay, say a knock on the door happens and Tim Cook comes up and he's like, "Hey, I don't know what it is, but you got it. Here are the keys to my Lamborghini and the office at Apple headquarters. You're now CEO of Apple. Instant billionaire." But I'm not ready for that position
Right.
because
You have no idea where to
I
start.
have no idea.
Yeah.
I was like, I got an Apple, I got an iPhone. That's as much as I know about Apple,
Right.
right? I don't know the first thing about being a CEO, but if we know that's what our purpose is, like my purpose is to lead, say my purpose is to lead a company to be able to build a culture that changes the way the world communicates. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's somebody who maybe becomes a CEO of a company that is a technology based company. You have to put yourself in a position of sowing seed in different areas: public speaking, growth and development, continued education over here, networking with people in a certain field. All those plantings will take you on a journey to be able to build you up to become the person that you need to become so that when God puts you in that position, you're ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
That way you can handle it. And more importantly, that thing, that destination doesn't become your identity.
Yeah.
Because so often when we reach a destination of success, whether it's materialistic wise or position wise, we're not defined by that thing that we've reached so desperately.
Mm-hmm.
That can be taken away. And that's like that open palm faith. God, you got me here. And if it gets taken away, my identity is not in these things.
Yeah,
My
women, you have to
identity's,
continue to move and
yeah,
to grow, to plant. But you said something, right? You said you have to plant. And to plant, you have to be outdoors, right? When you plant something, you're planting. You don't plant inside unless it's an indoor plant, but you're gonna you're gonna have a bigger garden if you plant outside.
yeah,
And you have to get out there. You can't expect that sitting inside your house
yeah,
is gonna plant. And I mean planting outside, it could be on the computer, right? Doing something like this where you have a YouTube channel, whether it's whatever it is, but you're putting yourself out there because you're putting yourself in front of people
right.
because you need that.
And
You can't, it's very hard to do it alone.
I can't stress it enough. Like that preparation of you really don't know. It's okay, but you have to try the different things.
It's easier said than done because it's hard.
It is difficult,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be more difficult when you reach your deathbed and you're like,
But it's
I should at least
also,
tried.
I think the other thing about being out there in front of people is that you hear the other side, right? You may hear stories similar to yours or where you're trying to go, and you're like, "Whoa, they did it."
Yeah,
And I mean, I can I can do what they did. It was hard, but they said there was, an exit.
yeah.
It was final destination.
Or it's the opposite where you see it and you're like,
Yeah.
but you don't know until you try.
Yeah,
That's the most
because you
important
are
thing
you.
is the faith without works. You have to actually
But
work.
you are you, right? Like that person where it may have not worked, you have no idea why it didn't work.
Yeah.
Whether it's on something on their part that they weren't willing to do, or whether it was just not the right fit,
Yeah,
was
maybe
not the right thing.
because maybe they were chasing something that wasn't,
But they tried.
but they
I
tried.
think that also
And
speaks on, it should encourage you to at least try as well.
the thing is, we need to be, the younger you are and you're mindful of this, the faster you can get to a place of not only fulfillment, but also purpose and enjoyment of life. Because so often, and I even heard a story tonight where some guy, uh, actually, I wasn't tonight, but it was today at some point. It was some guy who worked in IT. They were celebrating his 38th year in IT, and he was getting ready to retire. And the guy was like, everyone was celebrating, and this guy came into into the party, and he was new. He was getting ready to graduate college, so he was interning. And the guy says, says a little something about his time there. He was like, "Oh, thank God this is finally over. I've hated every single day that I've been here." And the kid says, "Why did you do it? Like, why would you wake up and say that it was that you hated every single day?" It's like, "Oh, it's a job.
Mm.
Do you want to just have a job, or do you want to have meaning in what you do, regardless of how it is you start out financially with it?" Because the importance of finding it out younger is that you have less responsibilities to hold you down with when it comes to money. The older you get, the more responsibility and the more gets put on you as far as financially. The younger we're able to discover that purpose, the sooner we're able to walk in our purpose, and the more time we have to make that purpose create the income that we need. Because God knows that we need income to provide for our family.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that. He knows that money is not bad. He knows that money is a transactional, uh, uh, it's a currency that's transactional to be able to help us pay for things, to pay for food, to pay for housing, to pay for utilities, to pay for vacations, to pay for our kids' clothing. He knows the importance of it. He also created that.
Mm-hmm. And then
We
again, he is a God of detail. He cares about those
Yeah.
things.
And so, but if we're able to hone in on like our kids, and again, our kids are the ones that we're in charge of, steward over.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to instill in them is like, what are you passionate about? Let's find if those passions can lead into some sort of purpose. And let's push you down that road versus I don't care what degree, what money comes with any sort of job. I don't care about any of that. That
Do
will
you
come.
do you think that's like a generational thing too? I think this generation that is our generation and the generation after us, Gen Z. Is that what it is? Gen Z.
I think so.
I think we're seeing more of that, right, at a younger age because our parents, it wasn't about that. It was like a job is a job. But I think we started to be like, well, I want to be happy because we saw that generation. And then they're like, oh, they don't want to work, right? We're criticized for not wanting to
Yeah.
work.
I don't think they wanted to work either. We just found a way to not work and make money.
Well, yeah, but like, do you think that now with Gen Z, we're seeing more and more of people like actually doing what they want to do
Yes.
younger, at a
Yeah, because there's
younger.
more opportunity, and also there's not as much security that's needed because a lot of the people that were older probably came from houses that were much like bigger sizes of families, so there was less provision in the home to be able to provide for the day-to-day things. So they lived pretty poorly. So there's the security of like money, a good job with a 401k, good benefits, health insurance. Whereas like now we live in a time where you can start a side business with no money out of your pocket,
Mm,
um, with just your phone. And I think our generation, the generation that comes after us, has seen the way that our parents' generation, the ones that came after them, just worked a job to work a job, and they're like, I don't like, that's like, I don't
I
want, I
guess
don't want
it.
to live that kind of life.
You said that right. Like, I guess it's the advancement that we have, like the technology that really helps
Yeah, I mean, anybody
in
can
how.
literally like, look, we're talking to potentially the world,
Mm.
sitting in our office.
Well, yeah, it's out there to
It's
the
out
world.
there.
Yeah.
Like, it could get, hopefully, no, I'm just kidding. It could get one view, but it can get, like, the channel has gotten hundreds of thousands of views at this point, collectively.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what did it cost us? Very little. All the technology was on the
Mm-hmm.
phone.
Not very
I mean,
little.
I splurged for some of the nicer things, but yeah.
Yeah.